Good day, everyone. This is the second part of the introduction in Gender and Society. My name is Ms. Carizoy M. Sumagang, and I would be your instructor for this day. Last time, we've talked about what is the society, what are the types of society, what are the characteristics of society, and etc. Now we're going to talk about what is gender and all about the things or what are the things related to gender. So let's start our discussion here. Let's think first. Kindly read each statement. There are 4 statements here. We have first one, women wear dress and skirts while men wear pants or slacks. Men are the financial provider while women are the homemaker. Men produce sperm cell while women produce egg cell. Men's boys break at puberty while women's are started to have their menstruation. So there are 4 statements again here. So let us define them, which is the gender and which is the sex. So I'll give you 30 seconds to answer each of this, and after 30 seconds is we're going to answer it. Okay, time is up. So let's start with the first statement. Women wear dress while men wear pants or slacks. Does it pertain to sex or gender? Yes, you're right. This pertain to gender. Next one. We have men are the financial provider while women are the homemaker. It, does it pertain to sex or gender? Yes, of course, it pertains to gender. Next one we have men produce sperm cells while women produce egg cells. Is it sex or gender? Very good. This is sex. Next we have men's boys break at puberty while women's are started to have their own menstruation. So next is we have very good. The answer is sex. Okay. So who among you got all the correct answer? So now let us proceed to our discussion. Okay, so let's start our discussion. So first we have to talk about what is sex and what is gender. So these two things are essentials, yet they are underrated parts of human life because it might affect our actions. First one is action. What are the things or how are you going to react on some things or some events in your life? Next one is job. It would also affect the job because there are some jobs that is needed or that has a qualification just only for a female or a male. Next, we have looks. So it is also done with how you present yourself to others, how you present yourself to the people around you. Also, it will affect your lives or our lives, the laws or the rules and regulations around you, and also the different values and etc. So we're going to talk about the etc. through our discussion for today. So next one, let's talk about first what is gender. So we have gender refers to socially constructed notion of relationships between men and women. It also refers to how people see themselves on their tendency to act along either feminine or masculine. So I have a typographical error here, so I'll change it later. So it refers to socially constructed notion. When we say socially constructed, yung society mismo yung nag-a-assign nito sa atin. Meaning to say it is not innate within us, but how does society given this kind of situations? So for example, ito muna, I will give you a tip first. Iba-iba ang definition or iba-iba yung nagiging concept pagdating ng mga concepts which abides or yung mga concepts na may kinalaman sa gender sa iba't ibang culture at iba't ibang society. So, let's balik tayo sa socially constructed. When we say socially constructed notion, sabi ko kanina, society ang bibigay or society ang nag-a-assign nito sa atin. And, meaning to say, kung ano yung kinalakihan or kung ano yung norms dun sa isang society na yun or sa culture na yun about men and women that na merong kinalaman sa gender. So, that would be part of how we define gender. And also, always remember that gender does not focuses only on women, but also on the differences between men and women. Okay? And also, remember that gender, sabi ko nga kanina, is not biologically constructed, but socially constructed. So, baka malito pa rin na kayo, ha? Na between sex and gender. Also, always remember that sex and gender is not equal and hindi rin sila magkaparehas. And gender also describes how our societies or how the societies determine and manage the different sex categories. Sabi ko nga kanina, iba't iba po or iba-iba yung pananaw or yung concept with regards to gender. But in some cases, meron tayong isa lang na definition for this. So, yeah. I'll be discussing what is masculine and feminine later on. So next one, we have sociology of gender. Sociology of gender is the distinction between the gender or between the sex and the gender. So it examines how society's influences our understandings and perception of differences between masculinity and femininity. And also, it is one of the biggest within the field of sociology because sociology of gender has different umbrella terms. And at some point, sociology of gender is kaya siya yung pinakamalawak because gender, like what I've said earlier, gender roles, gender identity, gender expressions, lahat na may kinalaman pagdating sa gender is iba-iba siya per culture. And also, when it comes to the topic of gender, ngayon pa lang po siya masyadong na-open sa ating society. Kasi there are some cultures, syempre, parang when it comes to different gender identities, gender roles, sexualities. Medyo hirap kasi ng pag-usapan. So, yun. And that is the reason why it is, or the sociology of gender is the biggest within the field of sociology. And also, there are many things to explore pa yung mga sociologists, psychologists, and anthropologists natin, or yung mga persons who's um, studying regarding sociology. So let us define what is masculinity. Masculinity, these are the qualities and attributes regarded as the characteristic of men, and what is the society deems appropriate behavior for a man. So meaning to say, these are the roles, norms that is assigned by the society to men. And femininity, it is quite the opposite. These are the attributes, qualities regarded as the characteristics of women, and what does the society deems appropriate behavior for a woman or for women. Because like what I said earlier, no, alternate lang siya. So sa femininity, ito yung ano nga ba yung norms, roles, and expressions na ibinabato ng society pagdating sa mga babae. Si masculinity naman, ito naman different roles, expressions, and etc. na ibinabato naman sa mga lalaki. So, there are different things or different, what do you call this? Different definitions or different words that may include in defining gender. So here are the some definitions of gender. It may include transsexual, transgender, and intersex. So let us define these three. So when we say transgender, so let us define first what is transgender. It is the most often used term to describe the non-traditional gender behaviors or identity. So, a transgender is a person whose sense of identity does not correspond with their birth sex. For example, si Maria ay pinanganak siyang babae. Meron siyang attributes or characteristics ng isang babae. But later on, habang lumalaki siya, nafe-feel niya na hindi siya parang hindi siya belong or hindi para sa kanya yung kanyang katawan. So she decided after many years na magladlad or mag-come out, no, as a male. So binago niya yung kanyang appearance, binago niya yung kanyang itsura. So, yun, they are once called as transgender. So, next one, we have the transsexuals. They are the individuals who identify as the opposite gender to their biological sex. When we say transsexual, they are the person who feels that he or she belongs to the opposite sex, and they have the desire to assume the physical characteristics and gender role of the opposite sex. So, ganito po. Ito ang pinagkaiba ng transsexual sa transgender. Ang mga transsexual, they are the people who undergo medical treatment or medical procedures for them to be part or para mas ma-feel nila yung kanilang identity. No, and transsexual often pinapabago nila hindi lang nila binabago yung kanilang physical appearance, but also yung physical attributes nila. Like for example, they undergo sex change. They take hormones, no? They take or they undergo different surgeries para magmukhang lalaki sila or magmukhang babae sila. Sa transgender, ang binabago niya lang po ay ang kanyang itsura. Okay? So next one, we have intersex. So it is a person which is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit the boxes of a female or a male, which means they are the persons who has both sex or both characteristics of female and the male body, and also most of them has the same reproductive system in their body, no, but the other one is not functioning, and also yung hormones nila. And ang problema minsan sa mga intersex is that the doctors perform illegal medical treatment sa kanila. So, si doctor mismo yung nagde-decide. But, napanood ko sa ibang documentaries na mayroong mga magulang na hinahayaan nila yung anak nila na lumaki. Na mayroong dalawang characteristics, both female and male. But, on the other hand, kung ano yung mas nararamdaman ng anak nila, yun yung pinaka nasusunod. So, for example, pagdating na ng adult nila, what do you feel? Or how do you feel? Mas nararamdaman mo ba na ikaw ay babae or isang lalaki? But still, it is a confusing part para sa mga intersex people. So, some of them also undergo hormonal therapy or hormone therapy just to correct yung problema. But, sa totoo lang, it isn't really a medical problem. Okay? So, next one, we have sexuality. So, in sexuality, it is about our sexual feelings, our thoughts, our attractions, kanina tayo na-attract, and behaviors towards other people. Sinulit ko lang to, sama natin yung biological response to other people. So, affected ng sexuality natin, yung values and beliefs natin, yung body natin, thoughts and feelings, gender, our relationships to other people. So, there are different types of sexuality. So, we have heterosexual or straight. So, they are the ones na, or they have sexual or romantic feelings. They react, or their thoughts will always be to the opposite gender, opposite sex rather. So, ito yung mga tao na they fell in love or they have sexual attraction, sexual feelings, thoughts toward the opposite sex. So, next one we have the lesbian and the gays. So, first one, let us talk about muna yung gay. So, they are men who are attracted to other men. So, as you can see in the picture, sexually and feelings, your orientations nila. So, they are boys, they are men. And also, always remember that gay is an umbrella term for homosexuality. So, as the lesbians, but on the counterpart, lesbians are the women who are attracted sexually or romantically to other women. So, yan. And gay, ulitin ko ulit, gay and lesbians are the two terms or the two umbrella term for homosexuality. Why do we say homosexuality? Because they are only attracted to the same sex that they have. Okay? So next one, we have bisexual and asexual. Kasi bisexual, they are um, attracted to both female and male, or both men and women. And si asexual naman, they are neither attracted to any sex or gender. And they doesn't feel any attraction to other people. But at some cases, they have the needs to be with someone, but hindi ganun kadib yung kanilang romantic or sexual attraction dun sa mga taong yun. So, these are the differences between sex and gender. So first, we have sex. It is the different biological and physiological characteristics of male and the female. It is the act of, often referred to as the act of reproduction, and also it is the category for living beings specifically related to their reproductive organs. So first of all, sex may be or may refer to our reproductive organs. So it may also refer to the physical characteristics or physiological characteristics of a female or a male. When we say physiological, do you have the chromosomes? Do you have the reproductive organ? Do you have the hormones? The body of a female or a male? Also, and also, sex could be referred as the act of reproduction. So it is the process of procreation, in other words. Also, sex may refer to the different biological characteristics or yung mga primary characteristics natin, such as yung mga pagbabago na nangyayari sa katawan natin when we experience puberty, when we undergo puberty. Nandiyan yung paglaki ng mga pag-shape ng katawan natin, pagkakaroon ng muscles ng mga boys, pagkakaroon ng menstruation, yan, pagkakaroon ng wet dreams, yan, kasama yan sa sex. When we say gender, it is socially constructed norms for men and women, roles and relationship on both groups. So, ang gender, lahat kasama ng roles, norms natin, and relationship natin to the different groups. Yan ay ina-assign po ng ating society. So next one, we have the sexual or different sexual orientation. So what is sexual orientation? It is the sexual attraction, sexual behavior, sexual fantasies, emotional preferences, social preferences, self-identification, and hetero and homosexual lifestyle of a person. So there are different forms of sexual orientation. We have 5. So gagamit ako ng highlighter. So we have homosexuals. It refers to those people which are attracted to the same sex or gender. So like what I've said kanina, the best example for this are the homosexual and the heterosexual. The gay and the lesbian. So next we have heterosexual. They are attracted to the opposite sex or gender. Yan. So bisexual naman, it is the attraction for more than one gender. So, ulitin ko, meaning to say, bisexual is pwede silang ma-in-love sa men, pwede din silang ma-in-love sa women, pwede silang ma-in-love sa gay, sa lesbian, so on and so forth. So, we have the pansexual, number 4. They are attracted to those of any of those gender or sex. Kahit ano dun, they are both attracted. So, almost sa lahat ng gender or sex, they are attracted. So, as I said earlier, asexual is the person who is not physically or sexually attracted to anyone but has the same emotional needs as anybody. They only have emotional needs but yung commitment, katulad ng sa apat na to, and lalo-lalo na yung nararamdaman nilang attraction towards the other people is hindi katulad na sa mga asexual. Most commonly din kasi asexual persons is they're not really attracted since day one into someone. Parang di sila nagkaka-crush, di sila nagkaka-girlfriend, yung ganun. Pero I'm not meaning to say na kung di ka pa nagkaka-girlfriend or hindi ka pa nagkaka-boyfriend, asexual ka ha, hindi. Diba? Asexual people is parang they're not physically and sexually attracted to anyone but meron silang emotional needs na kailangan i-fill out. Kailangan nila ng companion, kailangan nila ng makakasama, kailangan nila ng usap, pero hindi ganun katulad or hindi ganun kalalim ng relationship katulad nitong sa apat na to. So, next one we have, so before I proceed pala, I will be discussing what is the difference between sexual orientation and sexuality. Okay. Sexual orientation is a term which is used to describe a person's pattern of emotions, yung emotions natin, yung romantic feelings natin, and sexual attraction natin to other people. While sexuality naman, it is the ability or how do we see ourselves, how we fit, and how we physically relate to other people. So that is the difference between the two. So next one we have gender expression. So gender expression determines how one's his or her sexuality through actions or manner of presenting one's self. For example, it may be on the clothes that we dress, no, that we have, kung saan ka mas komportable na clothes. Also, we have the names, mga pinapangalan sa atin. Also, the voice, and some people alter their voice, no, when they feel, or lalo na yung mga tao na nag-out na on their shells, diba? Some of them na pinapalambot nila yung boses nila, or moreover, mas pinapalaki nila yung boses nila para to express that or to express themselves. That is also one part. And next one is we have yung how we relate or how we present ourselves to other people. No? Lalo-lalo yung mga sa pananamit, yung mga kulay ng buhok natin, makeup, ganyan. And lalo na kung paano tayo makisama sa ibang tao. So, first one, about gender expression, we have masculinity. So, as I've mentioned earlier, it is the qualities and characteristics which are associated with a man. So, ano nga ba yung gender expression ng society most commonly sa ating mga lalaki? Hindi ba, sabi nila, or madalas ko ito naririnig eh, kapag lalaki ka, strong ka dapat. Kapag lalaki ka, kailangan macho ka, ganyan. And some people defined masculinity, lalo na kapag may malaki kang braso, pag ikaw ay diba? Malinis sa katawan, manly ka, ganyan. Broad yung shoulders mo. Strong, like that. Brusco, hindi yung tawag nila. And also, if we have masculinity, we have femininity. So when we say femininity, it has the qualities and characteristics which are traditionally associated with a women. So kaya po nakalagay dyan sa aking presentation is the Disney princesses. No? It's because, papansin ko lang naman, it is one of my observations. Kapag ang babae, or ang birthday girl ay babae, diba? Most commonly, ang kanyang theme sa party is about princesses. Kung hindi, or yung motif ng kulay ng kanyang party ay kulay pink. Diba? So, those are the things that our society deems for us, or yun yung itinuturo sa atin ng society na kapag babae ka, kailangan mag-ayos ng sarili, kailangan mahinhin ka, kailangan marunong ka sa bahay, ganyan. And also, kailangan lagi ka nakadress, ganyan. So that is one example of gender expression na parang yun yung ibinabato sa atin ng ating society. So next one, we have the gender neutral. So kaya may nakalagay na whichever kasi they are the persons who has qualities and characteristics which are different from a man and a woman. Diba nga last time pinag-usapan pa yung sa gender fair, parang gender fair na toilet ata yun. Diba? But, syempre, not against everything in this world. Wait lang. So, yun. So, gender neutral. So, you can dress a clothes na pang lalaki, clothes na pang babae. So, that is also a way to express your gender. So, wala kang kinikilingan kaya ng gender. Laban lang. So, next one we have androgynous. When we say androgynous, they are the person whose qualities and characteristics has a combination from those which are traditionally associated with a man or a woman. So, have you seen some hairstyle na yung kalahating part ay parang panlalaking style siya, and then sa kabilang part naman is mahaba na siya, which is symbolizes a female look. And also, may nakita ko sa internet when I was searching for an example of androgynous. Yun nga, yung mga motifs na or mga motif na damit. Yung mga motif ng damit is both or has an idea for both men and women. For example, makikita mo dun sa isang dress na yon na meron siyang parts or meron tong idea na panlalaki siya and pangbabae din siya at the same time. So, yun. So, ang pinagkaiba nito sa gender neutral is yung gender neutral people is they have the characteristic and the qualities which differ from traditionally associated with a man or a woman. So, meaning to say, kahit magsuot na sila ng panlalaki or magsuot sila ng pambabae, okay lang. So, sa androgynous naman, combination siya. Sa isang bagay, may makikita ka doon or ina-express nila into both parties. So, meron doon concept ng babae and concept ng lalaki. So, ano siya, yun nga, combination. Both is nandun. So, that is androgynous. So, we're done discussing our topic. So, I hope you've learned a lot during this discussion. So, let us summarize. So, we have talked about gender, which is gender refers to the different norms or the socially constructed norms to our society. And also, we have the sociology of gender, which is the one of the biggest within the field of sociology, because it needs a lot of things, or there are more things to explore about it. And also we have three gender definitions, which is included on how we could define gender, which is the transsexual, transgender, and intersex. Next, we have the sexuality, which is about expressing our thoughts and feelings of a person. So we have the sexuality, which is heterosexual or straight, gay and lesbian, bisexual and asexual. So the difference between sex and gender, para mas madaling maintindihan, sex is biologically constructed, while gender is socially constructed. And when we say sexual orientation, it is how we are attracted to other people. And also, what do we prefer? And the different forms or sexual attraction is the expression of desire and attraction to other people. And there are 5 forms of sexual orientation. We have homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual, and asexual. Sa gender expression naman, it determines how we express one's sexuality through the actions or manner of presenting ourselves. So that's all. Thank you for um, listening to me, and please do your activity on our Google Classroom. See you!